Sustainability is kinda a big deal nowadays. It's most talked about in regards to the climate. And sure, that's important. But what's more important is the sustainability of theme parks. And it's not looking so good. Theme parks are relatively new, having come about in the last 50 years or so. But will they last another 50 years? In today's video, I'm going to do my best to answer this question using the information we have today, and I'm going to hypothesize what the possible downfall of theme parks might look like. I know this is a sad topic, but it's an important and an interesting one, so please stick around. While most of us probably don't remember a time before theme parks, the more senior among us might, especially considering that most major theme parks that exist today weren't truly theme parks until the 1970s, and only began to resemble the theme parks of today in the late 1990s and early 2000s. For the sake of this video, I want to focus more on the thrill-based parks, rather than Disney or Universal, since those are pretty different and are based off of much larger corporations that are not exclusive to the amusement park industry. With the merger of Cedar Fair and Six Flags ongoing, which still boggles my mind, American parks are likely to undergo a massive transition. This new ownership signifies a change in the industry, and I don't think the change is going to stop anytime soon. Between 2014 and 2024, these parks have largely stayed the same, with the exception of the coronavirus. But how much more can these parks really grow? And is there a customer base willing to support that growth? The answer to both these questions are complicated, but I think they both fall under the category of no. There is not enough demand, and parks will not grow, or at least not at the rate that they have. I think the reason for this largely comes down to economics. Not the economics of the parks, but the economics of the people who visit the parks. We are always hearing about the increasing gap between the rich and the poor in this country, which I think is caused in part by the idea that companies must grow. This takes me back to the theme park industry. Why must these parks continue to expand with new visitors and attractions? Well, yes, a Giga at Magic Mountain would be really nice. After that, it would just seem unnecessary and unsustainable for the park to continue to grow at multiple levels. First, for the climate. Theme parks take land and materials and are huge waste producers, just like most companies. The desire for growth has huge environmental consequences, and if every company reached their quarterly goals, we would have no planet. Secondly, this idea that companies have no ceiling for growth and must continue to grow in order to survive results in policies that do not actually grow the company, but rather accelerate the movement of wealth from the consumer to the provider, increasing wealth inequality. This is probably just an issue with the structure of capitalism and how investors always need to see ever-increasing profits, but it needs to stop, and I feel like nobody's talking about this. I think this concept is best shown in the increase of businesses that use subscriptions, and how companies now charge for things that they've never charged for before. A great example of the latter is how restaurants now charge for bread. Since when? I understand the mom and pop place trying to stay afloat with mounting rent costs and a dwindling customer base, but the bougie places run by large investment groups have no excuse. An example of the former is the ever-increasing price of subscriptions like Netflix, and how so many companies are transitioning to a subscription-based model. The problem with this is that there is no more room to innovate, and in order to grow, they must extract as much money from the consumer as possible. Now let's see how these ideas apply to the theme park industry. I think there is some room for short-term growth, as inflation will eventually calm down, and people's money will begin to go further. But I think for the long haul, these parks can survive, but they have to be smart. The upkeeping cost is enormous, and the second they start falling underwater, there's almost no coming back. That is, unless you're Six Flags. But if they keep prices reasonable and continue to attract a baseline of guests, I see no reason that they shouldn't last for a while. They could run into issues if they start jacking up prices to show growth, and the idea on its face makes sense. Providing a more quality experience for a higher price benefits the guest and the bottom line. However, they can't forget that theme parks are not a luxury good. They provide entertainment for the masses, who are predominantly middle class. They're not a status symbol or a Louis Vuitton purse. Keeping prices low is the way to go. And I doubt it will result in overcrowding because people still need to spend money on essentials. Anyway, that was kind of a complex thought. In short, I think that the unending growth model is harmful and unsustainable, and companies such as theme parks need to focus on keeping prices low and maintaining their customer base. Let me know what you think in the comments, and as always, thank you for watching, and please consider leaving a like on this video and subscribing. I'll see you guys in the next video.